Judging people's top 4 favorite albums. First up was a level 3 pop head build submitted by Alt Potassium. They've got Guts by Olivia Rodrigo, Folklore by Taylor Swift, Melodrama by Lorde, and Win the Pawn by Fiona Apple. And the main benefit of running a pop head build is that they are pretty reliable in co-op matches. Most of your party members are going to have a good time when you get the aux, but the problem is that you're just going to get griefed by all the sweats and competitive ranked gameplay. They're just going to keep on spamming you with the basic attack, so highest I can go is B tier. The level 4 Kanye Superfan build submitted by Korean Einstein. They've got My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, The College Dropout, Yeezus, and Ye. And unfortunately for them, the Kanye Superfan build has just been brutally nerfed so many times, probably more than any other build in the game.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Like, the first major nerf made it so that it would be relentlessly tracked down and hunted by Swiftie enemies, and that's one of the most aggressive factions in the entire game.
I'm really happy for you, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
And then after that, in the 22 DLC, Kanye just started going absolutely scorched earth.
There's a lot of things that I love about hip.
And now it's to the point where if you're running a Kanye Superfan build, you're basically just going to have to play on the defensive 24/7. You're going to get attacked non-stop. Yeah, good luck if you're trying to run this build in competitive ranked matches, or even if you're trying to run this in a public co-op round with strangers. It's just not going to go well for you, so unfortunately I have to give this build an F tier. Next up, we got a level 9 music nerd build submitted by Snake Sharks. And basically, the strategy for this build is pumping up niche music stats and maxing out defenses against music snob enemies. They've got 98-28-12 by Fishman, Soundtrack for the Blind by Swans, The Powers That Be by Death Grips, and By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Injury Reserve. And yeah, this build is insanely OP when it comes to extremely niche online servers, such as needle drop comment sections. But the problem with this build is that it has extremely low aux stats. It's basically useless in 90% of party compositions. And if you try to run this build at the function, it's probably just going to backfire against you. So highest I can go is B tier. The level 6 classic rock build submitted by Julia Giles. So the 2 core items in her build are Rubber Soul by the Beatles and Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. These are both all-time classics, pretty much universally beloved items. This is going to be the bread and butter of classic rock gameplay. But then on top of that, she diversified her build with Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay and Pretty Odd by Panic at the Disco. Yeah, that's pretty much just the most optimized way of playing the classic rock strategy. You have to kind of round it out with some other non-classic rock items. In this case, they've got Magdalena Bay to pump up their art pop stats, and they've got Panic at the Disco to pump up their 2007 mall emo stats. This is simply one of the most effective strategies in the entire game. I'm giving this an A tier. Next up, we have a level 7 old head build submitted by Yonatan. And this build is mostly specialized in legendary 90s hip-hop albums. They've got Aquemini, Enter the 36 Chambers, and The Low End Theory. And this is just an insanely stacked loadout because they have high music connoisseur stats, they have pretty decent aux stats, and they have the Shaolin Shadowboxing perk. The only downside with running this build is you might have Lil Xan trying to spam you with the corny attack, but it's just an extremely weak enemy, so you don't even have to worry about that.
The boring music.
Oh yeah, I haven't even mentioned what they're running in their 4 slot. They got the Black Satan, the Sinner Lady by Charles Mingus. It's this legendary jazz album. I mean, that's just going to take their build up to the next level. They have some pretty insane versatility. I'm giving this build an A tier. The level 4 Dad Rock build submitted by Uki Sinak. They've got Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses and The Doors self-titled. These are both staple items in Dad Rock builds. Plus, on top of that, they also got Metallica, Master of Puppets, and Black Sabbath, Paranoid. Which, okay, yeah, those are technically both metal albums. But let's be honest, they both kind of go hand in hand with Dad Rock builds. So yeah, overall, this build is kind of a mixed bag. On the one hand, it does have some really strong core stats because those are all fantastic albums. It's kind of lacking in versatility. They pretty much dedicated their entire loadout to boomer nostalgia items. And I'll give this build some credit. It does have some pretty decent aux stats, except that's mostly only applicable to really niche private servers. For example, Dad Rock builds can do insane numbers at sports arenas and office parties. Outside of that, it's just not that good of a co-op build. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not amazing either. So highest I can go is B tier. The level 5 New School build submitted by That's Great. And the 2 signature items of this build are Finally Rich by Chief Keef and Monster by Future. Both of those items are insanely good in co-op. This is another one of those builds that's just really effective in pretty much any party composition. And on top of that, they also got Good Kid, Mad City, and Late Registration to boost up their music connoisseur stats. The only major downside with this build is that you're just going to get relentlessly attacked by aggressive old head enemies. I mean, they specifically specialize in hunting down new school players. If you're not running any items from before the 21st century, they're just going to have an absolute field day with you. So yeah, because of that, while this is a pretty strong build, I got to give it a B tier. The level 4 music connoisseur build submitted by Juan Hernandez. This is one of the best early game music connoisseur builds I've seen. Because on the one hand, they've got Lateralus by Tool. It's this really OP prog rock item. It's great if you want to increase your music composition stats. But the only downside with equipping Tool items is that it leaves you extremely vulnerable to the Pretentious attack. So that's why they also equip Whole Lotta Red by Cardi. It's this borderline brain rot item. And that is just an absolutely genius move to combine this with Lateralus. So pretty much just covers all of each other's weaknesses, and it gives them access to the Vamp perk. And they've also got Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and Deftones Around the Fur. By the way, that's one of the best new metal items in the entire game. And this build is just absolutely stacked. I'm giving this an A tier. The level 5 Boomer Metalhead build, submitted by Josh Abreu. So in their first 3 slots, they pretty much just loaded up on classic metal albums. They've got Black Sabbath, Master of Reality, Slayer, Show No Mercy, and Judas Priest, Stained Class. And then their 4th slot, they got the Ramones self-titled just to add some punk in there. And when this build was first introduced to the game, it used to get attacked 24/7 by Puritan enemies. If you were running this build back in the day, you're basically just going to get spammed with the satanic attack on a daily basis. But over the years, the Puritan enemies have kind of just moved on to some new targets. At this point, this build is pretty accepted into the mainstream meta. It actually has kind of a similar playstyle as Dad Rock builds. It's a solid loadout. I'll give it a B tier. The level 4 Beatles Superfan build, submitted by The House. They've got the Beatles self-titled, Abbey Road, Revolver, and Sgt. Pepper's. And okay, honestly, dedicating your entire build to one artist is just usually not very effective gameplay. But I will say you can kind of get away with it a little bit with the Beatles, just because they have such an insane amount of versatility within their own discography. And the most common enemy you're going to have to deal with if you're running a Beatles Superfan build is contrarian enemies spamming the Beatles are overrated attack, although I wouldn't really worry about that too much. That being said, I can still only give this build a C tier. I mean, as far as single band builds go, this is probably one of the better ones, so I'm not going to put it into F tier, but I can't go any higher than C tier because you're just dumping your entire loadout into one band. The level 8 Art Pop build, submitted by Zach Jackson. So in his first 2 slots, he equipped Vespertine by Bjork and Hounds of Love by Kate Bush. I mean, this is just an insanely OP combo because, yeah, this is still going to be a pretty effective co-op build in Pophead lobbies. But then as soon as your party starts getting raided by Music Stomp enemies, you're pretty much going to be the go-to defender. So basically, you have all of the same benefits from a regular Pophead build, but without any of the weaknesses. And they've also got Heaven or Las Vegas by the Cocteau Twins, probably the single best Dream Pop item in the entire game. And they've got Mad Villainy by Doom and Madlib, which is just simply one of the best items in the entire game across any genre. And this is just an extremely overpowered build. I'm giving this an A tier. The level 4 Kendrick Superfan build, submitted by Level 100 Bread. They've got Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, T-Pab, and Damn. This is a pretty similar situation as with the Beatles. And Kendrick has just such an insane versatility across his discography. It's one of the rare artists where you can kind of get away with dedicating your entire build towards one person. And the thing is, if you're running a Kendrick Superfan build, your biggest op is definitely going to be aggressive Drake stands. But let's be real, if you're running a Kendrick build, you can pretty much just no-diff any Drake stands. It's not going to be that big of a deal. With that being said, highest I can go is C tier because Superfan builds just really aren't that good. I mean, if you insist on dedicating your entire build to one person, Kendrick is definitely one of the best artists you could possibly pick, but you're still putting all of your eggs in the same basket. The level 6 Cinephile build, submitted by Maxwell Hampton Reviews. And right off the bat, their signature move was equipping the Pulp Fiction soundtrack in their top 4 albums loadout. And as soon as you equip a movie score or soundtrack in your top 4, you automatically unlock the Cinephile build. And normally Cinephile builds just aren't that effective when it comes to music gameplay. But in this case, the rest of their build is actually pretty stacked. They've got Night Train by Oscar Peterson. It's this epic jazz item from 1963. They've got Black Sabbath Paranoid. It's always been one of the best metal albums in the entire game. And they've also got Good Kid, Mad City, which is, yeah, it's just one of the best items in the entire game because it increases your music connoisseur stats, and it also is actually a really good aux item. So I gotta say, this is a pretty all-around stacked build, but Cinephile builds do just get heavily nerfed in the music DLC, so the highest I can go is B tier. The level 8 music connoisseur build submitted by Bonak Alaoglu. And this is a ridiculously OP late game music connoisseur build. They've got Toxicity by System of a Down. It's one of the best metal items in the entire game. They've got Brat by Charlie XCX. This is going to boost their co-op skills and make them viable in a wide variety of party compositions. They got Animals by Pink Floyd. That's going to boost their prog and psychedelic stats. And they've got the second piano concert by Rashmininoff. So on top of all these OP items, they also have a really high classical music stat. I mean, this build is basically just unfair. I'm giving this an S tier. Alright, those are some of the best and worst builds in the game. Check out this video right here to see the best movie builds.